statistical analysis. I will tell about 4 characteristics of this differential privacy. Firstly, neighboring datasets. X and X bar are neighbors. If removing one record from X yields X bar, the basic unit DP protects with special accounting for previous. Privacy budget, epsilon and delta. Smaller epsilon means stronger privacy but more noise, and delta is set cryptographically small, at most 1 by n for n records, which is typically far smaller. 3. Synthetic data release. A noise-infused model is learned from real data, then sampled to produce a publicly releasable dataset, any size, since it's just resampling the model. And lastly, the utility trade-off. No synthesizer can uniformly accurate on all statistics. Overly precise estimates of too many stats would enable full reconstruction of the original data. Now comparing differential privacy guarantee types. Different synthesizers formalize privacy differently. This paper translates all to a common scale. Suppose epsilon comma delta dp notes conventional dp guarantee standard in most synthesizer literature. Epsilon comma 0 dp notes a stricter pure differential privacy special case noise added to all k-way correlations. And lastly, rho z cdp, which notes concentrated dp composes more gracefully across many adaptive queries. Now let's move on to the core idea. Basically, epistemic parity is the likelihood that a paper's published conclusions would remain unchanged had the authors used DP synthetic data instead of the real data. Formally, a finding is a Boolean condition over the dataset. Example, whether statistic F exceeds threshold K, written F of D is greater than K. The epistemic parity score is the fraction of synthesized trials, like across seeds, epsilon, and synthesizers, for which F of D star is greater than K still holds. Why this differs from prior evaluation approaches? There are basically 2 reasons. One, proxy task metrics, which assume descriptive stats or classifier accuracy generalized to real analysis. And 2, epistemic parity, which is used in this paper, directly reruns the actually published statistical tests on synthetic data. There is an work example with k equal to 10 random seeds and m equal to 6 synthesizers and b equal to 25 bootstrap draws per seed. Each finding is retested across k cross m cross b synthetic samples for epsilon value. Now let's talk about the methodology of this research paper. 1. Study dataset, then identify papers, then extract findings, and then generate differential privacy data, and then retest the findings, by which we get the parity score, which is the proportion of trials across seeds, epsilon, and synthesizers for which a finding still holds true. Reproduction approach is same data, different code, different team. The authors independently re-implemented each paper's analysis over the original public data before ever touching synthetic data. Common obstacles are undocumented data versioning, unspecific or incomplete methodology sections, and irreconcilable differences between the reproduction and the author's reported numbers. A taxonomy for reproducibility, adapted from one of the authors of this research paper. Firstly, conclusion. A broad induction made from the reported research must be explicitly stated and composed of one or more findings. Next, finding. A relationship between values for a reported figure of merit. A natural language claim plus quantitative or qualitative evidence. And lastly, value or evidence. A scalar computed result or implicit threshold. Example, a strong correlation where R is greater than 0.7 is used as a Boolean condition. Now let's talk about the 6th state of the RDP synthesizers. This is evaluated at author recommended settings. Method 1, MST. Family is marginals. Key mechanism, max spanning tree over mutual info weighted attributes. Notable trait is fast. It measures 1, 2, 3-way marginals. Method 2 is M. Um, Families marginals. Key mechanism is iterative refinement to exploit higher epsilon values. Notable trait is state of the art, not in older benchmarks. Third method is brief MRF. Family marginals. Key mechanism is criteria-based selection of informative marginals. Notable trait is lowest. It requires a GPU. Fourth method is brief-based. Family base net. Key mechanism is Bayesian network along with noise on all key way correlations. Notable trait is it is published recently in 2017, still highly competitive. Method 5 is PATE-CTGAM. Um, its family is deep learning. Key mechanism is um, conditional generative adversarial network GN with privacy constraint discriminator. Notable trait is scales based to high dimensional data. Method GEM. Family is deep learning. Key mechanism MWEM, which is multiplicative weights exponential mechanism, adaptive inspired adaptive query selection. Notable trait is based on the toughest high domain paper. Now we will talk about the three family of synthesizers. First is marginals based, which includes MST, AIM, brief MRF. It's rely on private PGM to fit low order, such as 1, 2, or 3-way marginals, the strongest family on tabular low dimensional data. Advantage is highest performing. All three per prior randomized query workload benchmarks. Second family is base net based. Uh, One of its method is pref-base. It learns a Bayesian network and adds noise to k-way correlations. It is competitive despite dating to 2017. Advantage is highest performing base net method in this family. And lastly, deep learning based family, which uses GANs for adaptive query selection, most tractable on high dimensional large domain data. It is the highest performing deep learning method. Now let's talk about the 8 benchmark papers which are used. I will compare them in the next slide. So in the dataset characteristics shapes, we can see that the 8 authors have used the sample size of data. Noting point is Freeman has used almost 3 lakh sample size of data, and Iverson, Lee, and Jeong has used the least. And comparing to number of variables, Jeong has used the most number of variables in his dataset, whereas Spearman, although implementing a high sample size of data, has only used the least 6 variables in his dataset. Now, in the experimental scale, where we are benchmarking DP synthesizers exhaustively is computationally expensive. Out of the 8 papers, which uses 6 synthesizers and 6 epsilon values tested, we get 10 random seeds, 25 bootstraps draws per seed, and 36 mechanisms per paper. So, talking about the overall results, there are 8 papers combined to form 6 synthesizers into 6 epsilon values and get 10 seeds. Every result validated against a real data bootstrap control. These are the following results obtained. Firstly, high epistemic parity achieved on 5 out of those 8 papers, mostly marginals and base synthesizers like MST, AIM, brief MRF, brief base. Secondly, all synthesizers hit 100% parity on Lee and Simpkins and Fruit and Can, besides brief MRF. All achieved 100% on Pierce and Puros 2. Third, Jeong et al. Only tractable for PATE, CTGAN, and GEM, both reached 100% parity there. Fourthly, Fearman, it is huge sample but low dimension, and Everson and Terry uses high dimension, that is more number of variables and low mutual information. Less sample size of data gave the most interesting, hardest results. Fifth, brief-base often outperformed MST, likely because the benchmark findings rely on conditional relationships. Brief-based models explicitly. Sixth, brief-MRF had the lowest parity variance but was the slowest synthesizer and required a GPU, limiting how fully it could be assessed. And lastly, no single synthesizer dominated across all papers, and some findings were never reproduced by any of the 6 methods. Now let's talk about a control check. Over 97% of findings reproduced in 100% of the real data Bayesian bootstrap iterations. So synthesizers can't reasonably be expected to beat the ceiling on the remaining findings. Um, this graph shows that parity is surprisingly intensive to epsilon. We can see that PRIV-MRF has both the highest average parity and the lowest variance. AIM is the only synthesizer whose variance clearly drops as epsilon grows. Now let's talk about epistemic parity across finding types. Mean difference and coefficient difference dominate the benchmark's finding types. Um, Finding type descriptive statistics, its count is 8. Similarly, regression whose subtype between coefficients its count is 4. Regression whose subtype fixed coefficient count is 2. Casual paths subtype variability count 1 casual paths subtype coefficient difference count 19, logistic regression count 2 each and 2 for accuracy, mean difference if its subtype is between class count 24, and if subtype temporal then count 26. Correlation subtype Pearson 12 and Spearman 1. Mean difference between class and temporal is by far the most common finding type. Low dimensional one or two variable comparisons dominate the benchmark overall. 19 of 26 mean difference or temporal findings sit in the two hardest papers, but the other 7 were reproduced by every synthesizer. Finding type alone doesn't determine difficulty. The main takeaway is that low dimensional comparisons suggest earlier proxy task benchmarks remain useful, but targeted synthesizer improvements are needed for broader conclusions. So let's talk about the 3 findings which no synthesizer could crack. Difficult regardless of synthesizer choice or privacy regimen epsilon. Firstly, overall people had 12.53 years of school at baseline. Why it's hard requires a precise mean over a variable with a large domain. Narrow CI leaves little room for differential privacy noise. Secondly, 5 paired percentages of individuals diagnosed with specific disorders. Precise values over a large domain variable. Um, Main problem is largest domain and most variables in the benchmark plus the lowest average mutual information of any paper. And lastly, mean difference between class. Students from lower ACS groups had significantly fewer persisters and emergers than high ACS peers. Why it's hard? Since it needs several exact subgroup percentages to all line up correctly at once. Any one noisy estimate breaks it. The common thread among all synthesizers are specific measurements over variables with large domains require proportionally more differential privacy noise, making learned distributions too noisy to preserve exact figures, regardless of which synthesizers or epsilon is used. So firstly, I will talk about, I will like to summarize what is provided in the paper. This paper introduces epistemic parity, a new metric for evaluating differential privacy synthetic data. Instead of relying on traditional utility, it measures like accuracy or correlations. It checks whether the conclusions of published research papers remain unchanged when using synthetic data. The authors tested 6 state-of-the-art differential privacy synthesizers on 8 real research papers from 4 datasets. They found that many scientific conclusions can be preserved specifically for low dimensional data, but high dimensional and large domain datasets remain challenging. The work demonstrates that evaluating reproducibility provides a more meaningful measure of utility than traditional proxy metrics. Now let's talk about the key takeaways and future work needed. Firstly, DP synthesizers can achieve high epistemic parity. Secondly, epistemic parity offers a more direct assumption, light alternative to proxy task benchmarks. Third, large domains and high dimensionality remain a fundamental bottleneck for today's synthesizers. And the future work could be characterize false discoveries, rebalance utility versus privacy, and estimate power or sample size. So, thank you. I would like to like everyone to raise their queries.
Sure.
Thank you.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Uh, so first of all, on behalf of the other people, I'm just raising some basic, very basic points. Um, it's like privacy we know very well. Uh, it could be the data privacy, model privacy. When we are
Yes,
actually developing the model and we are using the this, models are used in the to give some any kind of task to do over there. Then how the differential privacy is basically different from that one. If you just clarify in elaborately, so that the people might be getting the more attention about this particular thing.
uh, okay, sir. I'm telling. So traditional evaluation has certain limitations. Firstly, it uses proxy metrics. It measures statistical similarity, which was already mentioned. It evaluates data quality indirectly, and it may not reflect real world usefulness. Whereas this epistemic parity, basically the differential privacy, it uses actual research findings, measures reproducibility of scientific conclusions. That is, it trains the previous available data sets, evaluates
Can we have
research
some?
utility
Can we
directly.
have some example? Can we have some example by which we can understand this is the normal privacy? What exactly we talk about, and we ensure the privacy of the system. And this is the differential privacy. For differential privacy, we need this one. What exactly means? Now, by some particular example, could you give some example and make them understand?
Um, Sir, example, are attending attending a coaching are significantly getting higher than those who did not attend the coaching or institution. So traditional evaluation, um, eval uses the synthetic data set is evaluated using mean marks, standard deviation, correlation. Um, but epistemic parity um, is achieved because of scientific conclusion based means.
It is still not clear. Mr. I'm not going for the epistemic priority, but I'm basically trying to understand what you mean by epistemic priority. My question is the term differential privacy. Until unless this thing is clear, I think the entire presentations actually not actually means understandable to anyone else. Though the things what exactly you are telling that all those things actually okay, fine, all those things are fine, but differential privacy is not clear to me, and I think that it is not clear to all others too. How the differential privacy means in a term, the differential privacy came into the existence. That's very important.
You can continue, sir. Okay, Ukshav,
Sir,
I
can
have
I?
another question that you have talked about synthetic data here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So can synthetic data replace the real data fully? Like, is it possible?
Uh, Firstly, I want to tell about the differential privacy. Um,
Yes.
so, differential privacy is a method of protecting people's personally identifiable information (PII) (PII) while still allowing useful data analysis. It is a technique that keeps personal data private by adding a small amount of random noise, which makes it very difficult to identify any individual while still allowing researchers to use.
Information of the user. Okay, so it's over there, but you are telling that randomly you are putting some extra information over there, which is actually making that making these particular things not directly understandable that which one is the correct one, or means real data is basically given with some another information is given over there, that is actually creating the privacy. Is it that one? Are you telling that one?
Uh, yes, sir. It is like that.
So
Means,
can I
let's say for example,
explain this question?
I am basically going to transact the money from one account to another account. Okay, but let's say for example, two unknown people actually want to transact their money. So what we do, instead of using their account number for the transaction, they are using their phone number. How? This is a Google Pay. In the Google Pay,
Yes, sir.
you use the phone number to means in the background the account to account transaction is happening, but it seems to us it's a phone number to another phone number is basically the data is being transacted. Is it something like that? Can we say this
Yes,
in a
sir.
differential privacy?
Yes, we can say like that, where we are keeping the most means especially personable identifiable information (SPI), their user credentials in private, and using and we are generating them and adding some noise or some unnecessary variables that we others, if they detect it or tamper it, will cause less harm instead of providing personally identifiable information like
But
somebody.
in my case, it's not actually noisy data or is kind of any noise is basically added over there. It's a really a phone number which is a useful information which is known to the public, but it is actually being used and to hide the actual
But
information
sir,
of this
here
transaction.
the authors have told that differential privacy uses some noise, means
It's a norm from
uh,
noise. So this is not a differential privacy. What exactly I am talking about, right? So could you
yes,
have
sir.
any other example where actually we do in real life this kind of privacy? Is it that, or is it that in a theoretical concept which is actually being used in some
Um,
particular model definition or
Sir,
such kind of
I
thing?
can think of an example that something XYZ chatting system is there. So what
Hmm.
happens? Suppose I log in there with my phone number, my name Utsav Das. So what all my credentials, my date of birth. So it will take all that. It will add some noisy characters like some extra 3 to 4 words in my username, and I can check. This is one example. Or this
Okay.
happens in differential privacy.
That means it is an additional some random values are actually being added with these your
Yes, sir.
profile
To protect
users,
our
and that is actually making the some certain level of privacy of your user data. I think so. That is what actually you are trying to tell.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. I have my answer. I have got my answer. Okay, any other one have some questions?
So we have another question from Debashish. He's asking Utshav, so what is the use of this in real world implementation?
Uh, I can answer this. Suppose when I was developing the Cyber Sentinel research work, me and Orchid has developed it. So we have created a curated data set, which is not uh, ex- currently been public, as we have not presented our research paper in the conference. So we have kept it as a private or protected view. When we keeping it in the public or just showing that, so this differential privacy, what it does, it secures that something which is used, the data set which others can use, but our identity or the owner of the data set, it means the anyone can't access or take access from the data set. So this can be the real world application. We can use it, but we cannot take access from any our data set. Nobody can take access from it.
Thank you, Utshav. Utshav, I asked you a question that you talked about synthetic data. So can it completely replace the real data? I mean, is it possible?
um, According to me, both are important. Real world data.
If Utsav allow me, I will answer this question. Anisha,
Yes, sir. You can.
what exactly differential privacy is not the replacing the entire data with this synthetic data, synthetic random data, but it is actually the synthetic data what exactly it would be added randomly with the existing data, so the user original user information is certain level you can actually hide it. It's not that really it's a hiding the value, hiding the information regarding the user, but it is mixed with the with these random values, which is actually difficult for the data those who are actually going to hack the data of the users. They are actually unable to extract the original data, what exactly they are correct one. That is what actually he is telling, the random values, random informations are being added over there. Okay, that's why it is not replacing the data, original data, but it is mixing with the original data, so that it is actually making some chaos to the other side, who were actually trying to target your information.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Got it.
That is what actually he is
Yes,
trying
sir.
to say. Okay.
So we have another question from Arkit Chaudhuri, that he wrote that from slide 6 of the art DP, wouldn't author recommended settings give some synthesizers and unfair advantages based on their tuning?
Uh,
Also, you can find the question in the chat box also, if you need to
yes,
see the
ma'am.
question.
I'm telling Arpit to please write this question in simple words. He has mentioned so many keywords that I couldn't understand.
Utsav,
It is better,
I will
Arpit, you
simplify that question.
tell it.
Sir, I would like to simplify this question. Ankit, the synthesizers which you discussed, the 6 synthesizers, what are the basis of choosing those synthesizers? How they are generating the data which are relevant to our work? Means there are different types of synthesizers now. Some are marginal based, some are deep learning based, some are Bayesian network based, and others. So how are these synthesizers got chosen for this particular kind of work, and what are their roles in generating that artificial data?
Okay. Thank you for interpreting the question. So basically, the author selected only these 6 synthesizers because they are well known, widely accepted. Um, they represent the major approaches which are used in differential uh, privacy using synthetic data. Together, they cover different techniques such as graphical models, Bayesian networks, and deep learning. Um, the authors focused on these 6 because they are widely recognized and publicly available and represent different state-of-the-art techniques, including or more synthesizers would significantly increase the computational cost without necessarily providing additional insights. So this is my answer.
No. What the question was actually, suppose you are using MST, AIM, or PriveMRF. Uh, what are their work? Means what kind of data are they generating? Column wise, section wise, result wise, or any particular
Firstly, this means the authors did not study what the data they generated. They were trying to find how we differential privacy can be tested by using these synthesizers. So they generated a study, not they did not uh, deep dive into that.
So then what is the basis of the comparison of the results from actual data and artificial data?
We are getting to know how they impact the means how much the privacy is there, how much noise can be limited. That is why they are combining them and these synthesizers, and they're combining them in 3 families. How much variance is there, how much mean deviation, that is being studied in this paper.
Anyone else? Any other question?
Anyone has any question?
Okay. I have some important announcement to tell to the people, those who are right now uh, in their final year or pre-final year. So those who are doing the final year project with us, and those who are actually going to do their pre-final year, means in a third year mini project with us, the people, I'm suggesting for everyone to select and register for one NPTEL course which are most relevant to your research work, or if it is your uh, area of interest. But definitely for every semester, you people take up one particular course. That is not necessarily the for entire group should have a single course, but you can choose your own and submit that particular course where you have registered to your mentor. Okay, you submit that particular, after registration you just select the course and register that particular course. After registration you send the mail that you have got the mail after registration to your mentor, so that what we will be doing, we will be making a list that who are doing what particular course. And what is the benefit of this doing this particular thing? Once you register for this particular course and write the exam and get the positive result out of it, there are a lot of benefit of that NPTEL course. Two direct benefit I'm just trying to tell. One is your internship at IIT, and obviously that is paid. You will be paid for that one. For internship, you get the internship, it would be around 15,000 per month for internship. That means during the your BTech curriculum. It's now final year. If you are getting that one, then it could be 1 month or 2 months, 3 months or 6 months. That is up to that particular supervisor who are in the, means now under whom you will be doing the your internship at IIT, and there it would be the fund will be given to you. So this is the way by which you can actually go over there. Secondly, those who are doing very well in your in those particular examination, okay, the criteria will definitely be elaborately it would be told later. But if you are means if you do well, very well over there, then you can apply for pre-doctoral fellowship from the different IITs. The list of the pre-doctoral fellowship means now who will, what are the different projects are there. You can actually get it later on once you register over there. And getting that pre-doctoral fellowship, you will be allowed for entire 1 year your research work under some project at some IIT in with the supervision of a particular professor at IIT. Okay, and in during this particular 1 year, you will be learning a lot, and this particular thing will be considered as your 1 year job. So this will definitely include in your CV, and that would help a lot. And not only that, during this particular pre-doctoral fellowship, you will be entitled to get the fellowship of approximately 30,000. So these things are very important. Okay, so from our community, MindSpec community will be yeah, will be promoting that student must take one course for every semester. Every semester you select your own course. I'll give the links where you can find that what are the different courses are there, where from where it would be means now which particular IIT is offering that, which professor is offering that, when the examination will be there. Okay, everything you can get it, but you need to register, and you need to write for the write the exam for that one. Until unless you are giving the exam, that would not actually convert to these particular opportunities. Clear? So this is very important. You must do to select the course, and after registration, you must send it to the your mentors. that this is the course I have basically selected. And one thing from the MindSpec community we are planning to do, that is that is if the many students actually taking one particular course, it is more than 10 or 15 students are actually taking one course, I'm planning to give at least one course mentor amongst this in our community, those who have already passed the exam. Once past that exam, uh, uh, he or she will might be the mentor, course mentor for that particular course. What exactly course mentor role? Course mentor will actually help you in day-to-day activities of those particular course. You know that 25% marks of this NPTEL is your assessment. I know that everyone can actually get the help from the chat GPT, Claude, and many things, but the problem solving approach, if you check, if you want some help, the mentor can also do. You can reach out to the mentor, and mentor will definitely update that when the exam is coming, when actually the registration will be started and closed. Okay. Though definitely you will be getting the mail from the NPTEL, but still the one person will be there who will be helping you to do the entire thing. Okay. So make sure that you will have this particular thing, and I'll reach out to the mentors that they should definitely ensure that all the students from the different groups, they should ensure that they have at least one course they have registered. Okay. And the least I'll give them a Google sheet where they need to write that which particular course they have taken. Okay. So that is important for us. Okay. Any questions from your side regarding this? And this is not only for the third year and final year. I actually open up this particular thing that the people those who have completed their BTech and doing the masters also, they can also take this course. The benefit is actually utmost. Always it would be helpful and to go over there. And the best example from our community, I can say that two people actually got a good opportunity. One one is Annesha Day. She got the predoctoral fellowship. She's just doing this one, and she will be telling. She's the resource person for us that what exactly NPTEL can help us. Okay, so predoctoral fellowship. She is now joining the predoctoral fellowship at IIT Kharagpur. So that is the best example from our community. Another one who is right now in the fourth year, one student who is right now in the fourth year cleared the papers, got the top 2%, I think, on that particular subject. And again, in the third year, he applied for the predoctoral fellowship. And there was no point, there was no particular actually the check was there that whether the student is in a final year or third year. So he got the offer from IIT Kanpur, uh, uh, to join the predoctoral fellowship. But he was actually in the third year, so that's why it was delayed. And he might be joining in the next year at IIT Kanpur. Uh, uh, I think many of you might not be knowing he is in the BCS 4B batch, Aritro Chakraborty. He's in our group, and he's right now again trying to do this particular thing. Okay, so the benefits are a lot. You can actually avail all those. Only you require to register the course and write the exam. Okay. Anything else from your side?
Anybody has any
Okay.
question? Whatever he said for that.
Okay. Okay. If they have any question, I can actually take this thing offline. I will be get in touch with them later on. So I ask Annesha to give the vote of thanks to the speaker and conclude the session.
So just before that, I want to tell everyone who is not asking questions, please do ask questions. In last session also, your host Bhanu told you guys that please ask questions. If you not ask question, you won't be able to understand what the speaker is trying to say in the presentation. Whatever it is, just ask questions. Whatever.
So in this particular thing, I should add one particular point. For the speakers, it is not for the audience, those who are listening. I should say it's for the every speaker taking this platform and giving some particular doing his or her reading session over here. One thing is very important, what I think, we are making this particular platform very much formal. But this particular platform has not been made for the formal discussion. This is not the very much formal. Keep it at a little bit of bit formal, definitely. But you can also present your presentation not in the conference paper presentation. Take it to some particular discussion in a discussion forum where you are talking, and the you just ignite the mind of the reader as listener, right? So what exactly the changes is required over there? From my side, the suggestion is that don't go into the paper what exactly that they have written in the paper in that format. Better you give the more trust on the motivation and the clarity of the thing, that what exactly I have told. This is a differential privacy we're talking about. Okay, so the jargons are more important. Means new terms, they are the new people. Okay, so they might not be understanding that one. Correct. So if you are actually putting the many more jargons to them, so they are overwhelmed with that particular thing. So don't do without doing that thing. Go for examples, some particular case studies, and tell all those things that what are the things that are happening. Just take the time. It's like, let's say, for example, 30 minutes if it is given to you to present your paper, present that particular paper. Take minimum, I should say, 15 minutes to 20 minutes to tell the background and motivation, and 15 minutes at least, and then after then 5 minutes you go for the methodology, and result is the most less significant things over here. Don't give the more trust on the result, because the thing actually you are placing in in front of some particular people, they are actually not expert. They will not understand more on that particular result what exactly you are telling. But they will be much more interested if you are actually telling that what is the real problem actually you are going to solve. Are you getting me? So this is the very important to every speaker in this platform. Keeps make sure that you will be presenting in that way. This is a general suggestion for the all those speaker, and that would actually definitely means actually give the more confidence to the people. They will able to connect more confidently into this particular platform to say something else over there. Okay. Anisha, you go for the vote of thanks. I think
Yes,
I have
sir.
done.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Utsav. Thank you for the session today. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you everyone who have participated in the session today. We will see you in the next Saturday at the same time. Thank you, and everyone who wants to connect with the speaker, you can connect with him offline also. You have his WhatsApp and LinkedIn. You can connect the speaker over there. Thank you, everyone. You can leave now.